Welcome to the flowerschool.com video library. I'm Leanne Kessler, Director of the Floral Design Institute, and today I'm here to share with you an arrangement for one of my favorite holidays. Thanksgiving is such a grand time. Everybody comes together and the focus is just on fellowship and food. What could be more wonderful than that? Of course, I can't cook, so for me, the focus is on fellowship and flowers. And this time, I wanted to work a little bit different, a little more contemporary. So rather than the traditional analogous color scheme of yellows and oranges and reds, the fire colors, the whole basis is on chartreuse green. And then adding in some fabulous autumnal color. To expand on that fabulous green of the hydrangeas, I'm going to add in Reindeer Moss, which also has that same bright chartreuse green, and a lovely treasure of a find, Ornamental Cucumbers. Small little guys, makes you think of a little baby cucumber. They're not edible, they're strictly ornamental, and aren't they grand? The color, wonderful. All the pieces are going to go into a wreath ring from the Oasis company. I've already soaked it. It's ready to go. It's in a tray, which makes it so convenient because I can move it around. I can add water. Now with Thanksgiving, I always add candles. I love the warmth of candlelight. So for this design, I'm going to use both a pillar candle, setting it into the center, and then tapers. The tapers, I've pulled the packaging up, but I'm leaving it on so that it protects the candle. And I'll remove it at the very end, setting it down into a taper holder, and then just setting that right down into the wreath ring, placing them together on one side. So I'll end up with an asymmetrical look, making sure I have at least 3 fingers. I actually have almost a whole hand, so that they don't burn down to each other. The heat won't affect them. Double checking they're straight. Then to fill in the center, a little bit more green. I've got some beautiful gems in that bright green color. Just placing them around to cover the tray. To conceal the sides of the tray, before I add flowers, I cover it with foliage. That gives me a quick, easy, inexpensive coverage. You use aspidistra leaves, giving it a cut, and then just placing it in a long horizontal line and wrapping it. Then using a greening pin, just anchoring that down in. Then I can go back with another leaf, giving it a cut. And this time I actually pierce right through the first leaf, bringing it around and using the greening pin, securing it into place. And then one more leaf through the first one, wrapping around, and then another greening pin to hold that in place. Then rather than stopping with just the one big leaf, I go back. A little bit of the Italian ruscus, another long winding leaf. You can use any foliage that has that length to it, giving it a cut, and once again just piercing it right through the leaf, then wrapping it around, capturing it with a greening pin. And if it seems a little long and leggy, you can always clip that out and then reinsert it so that it stays within the confines of the shape that you're trying to make, and then finish covering all the way around with the digital ruscus. Now the hydrangea. And designing them in a pave fashion is so lush and fabulous. To make them last the longest, I'm going to use alum. It's a pickling spice that you can get at the grocery store. It's a white powder. And as I cut each hydrangea, I'm going to dip it into the powder. It actually keeps it to be fresh and alive a little longer. So I cut this down. Don't need the stem, don't need the leaves. I want just a section. Then I dip and then insert it directly into the foam, making sure it's in nice and deep so it will drink well. And I get a solid coverage wrapping around. I can even bring it down through the leaves, some to the sides, some to the top, and some clear on to the inside, so that I get that beautiful green all the way around and covering the form. To bring in a touch of autumn and provide some contrast, some beautiful ornamental kale. Now it's very tall and pointy, so I'm going to cut it down, then reach in with my shear and cut out from the center. So I actually end up with two pieces. Then I can use this one for some color. Cut it down a little more and set it down in. Now that cut end, I'll have to cover. I certainly don't want that to show, but the color looks fabulous. Then going back with the extra piece, sacrificing some of the side petals so I can get a stem to insert, give it a fresh cut, and then bringing that right down in. Now its stem is wider, so it's easier if I pre-cut my leaf and then insert it through the hole that I made. Otherwise it's kind of hard to chew into the leaf. So again, it's cut it down. This one's really long, so I'm going to cut it into multiple pieces. Cutting it right here, and going up a little further, cutting again, then removing some of those side petals, and placing it down in, cutting the leaf so I can find room into the foam, making sure it goes in nice and securely. And then the first piece that I started with, bringing it in, cutting the leaf, remembering that I will be covering all those cut ends. I don't want them to show. It's not very professional to leave that sticking out there. Bringing this one up maybe right over here. Then I've got a few more that I'll tuck in. Then to pick up the color of the candles, and this lovely bittersweet, some coxcomb celosia. Again, cutting it down, and then sliding it right down in, and again, continuing on around, creating a beautiful carpet of flowers. For the last touch, the wonderful ornamental cucumbers. To secure them in place, I use a 4-inch wood pick. Now they have wires on them that I don't need, so I cut the wires off. And then I insert that right into the side. And then to make sure that it stays put and doesn't come loose, just a little bit of Oasis foil adhesive right around the point of insertion. This will hold it secure and keep it from falling off the stick as it dehydrates and pulls apart. You just want to put the stick into each one and then let it sit a bit. And I had some done a little bit earlier, so they've already sat. And then I just go and place them right into the foam, adding a little texture. And wherever I had a point where I had cut, I can place that right over the point of the kale so that that's concealed. And that way I don't have any of those edges showing. Bring it out to the front. Up, put all the way through. That one hadn't set yet. Let's set him aside a little longer, put a little more glue on him. Let him come together. I need another one. Let him set a little bit longer. Then last touch, the reindeer moss. Just taking bits of glue right on the reindeer moss, making sure that the candles, their holders are concealed. I can glue it directly into that holder, tucking it in, adding just a little bit more texture. And then once everything's in place, going back and removing the wrappers. Trimming the wicks just a bit. And I'm ready to light the candles. Using unexpected materials like the ornamental cucumbers and a bold color harmony like the triad with the violet, the orange, and the green really enlivens the Thanksgiving table. It still looks like Thanksgiving, still looks like autumn, it's still fabulous, but oh so unique and different. For more creative inspiration, check out our website at flowerschool.com. If you've got questions, need help finding these things, don't hesitate to contact us. You can reach me here at the school through the website at flowerschool.com or by telephone at 1-800-819-8089. If email is easier, use my personal email. It's Leanne, Leanne, at floraldesigninstitute.com. For now, I wish you all a fabulous Thanksgiving. It's a little early, but it's never too early to start planning what you're going to use to decorate your table as you do something you love.